So how's it been going in the early going?
Yeah, it's been going pretty good. Like my team, love my coaches, love my teammates. It's great to get after it.
Experience-wise, still waiting to get out there a lot more. But what have you noticed about yourself, just for through the first 3 weeks of the season?
I mean, getting out there, I just got to play my role, as a freshman, contribute on special teams. How you see, every week we show something on special teams, block punts, block field goals. So, we take pride in special teams. So, as of right now, I'm just playing my role.
Who's been the biggest help in learning the system at linebacker?
Yeah, probably most likely it'd be Mike McCray, Ben Gideon. They help a lot. Just any little questions I have on the side, they help me out. They've been there for me.
Both those guys have had big games lately too. I mean, what do you take from them? Do you go up to them any particular conversations, especially these past 2 weeks with them?
I remember the first game I asked Mike. It was his first game too as well. But him being older than me, him being out of game before, I asked him, how do you feel when you go out there? What does it feel like? He was just telling me, keep calm and keep cool, and everything we practice that week, just apply to the game.
What kind of leader is Ben Gideon among the linebackers?
Ben's more as a present leader. Ben doesn't really have to say much. He doesn't really say much, but when he does, you hear his voice. You make action, and you just follow him.
Even when you aren't on the field extensively at linebacker, what can you learn from the film room during the week after watching the games?
Just any small mess ups, small errors, that I haven't made, but watching Mike or Ben, just not having them mess up on those in practice, just learn the system.
How did it help you to go through spring practice, and then how were you able to use that to help some of the freshmen that were coming in late?
Just telling them, how our practice is, how it's ran, and what coach expect, as you have a player. Just, anything they need, anything they ask, I was there, to give them help.
Is it unusual having your dad around while you're in college?
Nah, not really. I've been with him my whole life. We were at high school together. He was my head coach, so I see him here and there. We talk football, talk family, talk life, and it was great having him.
Having that semester coming in January and early enrollee, how did that help you not just with the transition to football, but with the transition to college life?
It was good. Got here, it was snowing, so it was cold, but I think it helped out a lot. As of right now, I don't know. I feel so old now, but that winter really helped a lot.
But anything in particular that
Just getting comfortable with the place, being away from home. Not all freshmen were here, just 7 of us, and having to learn on our own and get used to the system.
A lot of people talk about the freshman wall. You haven't hit that yet?
I'm not even sure. I want to say probably my first week of spring practice. I think I probably hit that wall probably the second day, probably that whole week. But it was over pretty fast. Caught up with the system, caught up with the guys, and I feel good now.
But not worn out or anything by what you've gone through so far?
I'm pretty used to it, man.
Yeah.
I'm pretty used to it.
Having games like this past Saturday, even the one before that, does that build your confidence on special teams that you can look at a game and say, wow, the special teams really made a difference in that game?
Yeah, of course. Like Colorado, we was down 14-0, had no momentum. Our stance was quiet. Next thing you know, we come out, we block a punt, score 7-14. We got momentum. We put more points up, 14-14. We roll from there.
What have the older players been telling you about the difference between non-conference and Big Ten play?
I ain't really hear much, but just looking at it now, it's just more serious. We ranked 4 in the country in the playoff thing, and as of right now, we in a conference game, so we have to win it. Treat every game like it's a big game.
Being at number 4, how much value does your team put in the rankings?
We check it, but it's a priority. But I don't think it's something we really drool over. I don't really think we paid that much attention to it where it becomes a distraction for us. I mean, you just take every game how it is and every preparation how it is.
What's one area where you think you've gotten a whole lot better through being here early and being here the last 5 or 8 months?
I probably want to say, I want to say run and pass on the field. Now run fits. I really got a clue of how to take on a block, how to get off blocks. pass rushing as well. My pass rushing got 10 times better. I just feel good. I think
How's Devin Gill doing?
Gil's doing all right. Gil's coming along. He's giving our guys a great scout look right now. I think Gil's gonna be a real good player. As time comes, as he progresses as a player, I think he's gonna be real good.
What's the talk like right now with the freshmen? Because we saw week 1 with Chris, and then we've seen, I think Kakoa, Eddie McDoom. I mean, several freshmen making impact plays. What has been the discussion like with you guys?
Funny thing is, like, we already knew, what they were capable of. So whatever they did, we was like, yeah, we knew they was gonna do that. That's no surprise to us. So as of right now, it's just, getting all the freshmen, to pick it up, to start contributing more, taking it more seriously, get ready for, next year or when their time comes, anything can happen on the field.
Given the depth situation at linebacker, are you ready if McCray went down to be that guy it's handed to?
Yeah, I think I'm ready. I treat every game as if I'm starting. I study like I'm starting. I practice like I have to start. But if Mike were to go down, I think I'll be all right.
You said you came up here and there was snow. Had you been exposed to much of that before?
It was. I remember the first day of class. I only came out, with a long sleeve shirt. I had to go back and change that, put on like a 6 more shirts.
Time for a couple more questions.
Does it, on that weather note, I mean, people in Michigan, you'll see them shorts and T-shirt in like 45-degree weather. I mean, that's kind of a little bit different than what you were used to, right?
Yeah.
Florida, I mean, that's.
I wear sweatpants and long sleeves all day, every day.
Is it really that big? Is it really that big of a difference? I mean, the weather thing, it can be something that you get used to within, one school year.
Yeah, that semester helped a lot. I got used to it pretty fast. It doesn't really bother you. I mean, you're not in it that much. I mean, you walk to class, probably take like 5 minutes, and you're out of the snow. Walk back home, take probably 5 minutes. So you're not reading that much. So it doesn't really affect you like that.
Pretty clear that Chris Partridge and Jay are high on the special teams and doing some pretty unique things. These things that you've never seen before, and pretty innovative guys.
I didn't know what special teams was this serious until Coach Jay and Coach Partridge started talking to us meetings. I'm like, it's like a whole other playbook. So
The aggressive nature though of the special teams, it seems like this year, maybe Michigan's most aggressive special teams within the past few years. Is it exciting for you to be a part of that?
yeah, of course. Anytime I can contribute, with my teammates, I mean, I feel like it's special to me. It's an experience I'll never forget. I think we have great special teams.
How much have you guys talked about, the blocks, the alterations, the disruptions of the ball?
Every day. That's an everyday conversation. No matter what meeting we in, offense, defense, special teams, on the field, practice, walkthroughs, that's always, the discussion, what we're going to do in special teams this week.
Devin, you mentioned, playing your dad's up here, obviously. What's that like? I mean, not every player gets that experience having his dad, and he came with you, pretty much.
It's helpful. Motivation. He's there whenever I need him. Anytime I need to talk, something's bothering me, something's on my mind, he's always there to, talk in person. Just to get that feeling of him being here, I feel like, I have something I always can lean on.
Does he do you guys go over break down film, anything like that? What's the post game? When do you separate being just a father-son time and father and then coach and son time?
Whenever. I mean, depending on what we're talking about, somewhere it always leads to football, though. So we'll talk about life. We'll talk about, what's going on in the classroom, how he's feeling, how I'm feeling. And eventually, just take over talking football.
Was there an instance this year where he pulled you aside and was like, "Hey, I saw you do this, do that"? Was there any example of that?
He'll I remember one time I was doing 7-on-7. I missed the drop, and he came to me and like, "Yo, let's do that. Why'd you do that? You know this." And, he was trying to help me from any mistakes I made that I didn't know I made or already knew I made, but just make sure I really know it.
And what's sort of the feedback you're hearing from your teammates? Obviously, he's your dad, but he's also their coach as well.
Yeah, I mean, everybody, I've got good feedback, oh, your dad's cool, he's this, he gets well along with the players. And I was like, yeah, that's him.
Do they sort of know what he's done and where he's been and stuff like that?
I think everybody knows his resume. So I think everybody's cool with that.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Thanks.